Okay, so we've got the parallax scrolling background working okay. One thing I thought actually would be useful to point out is explain a little bit more about how this if-else statement works. So again, it's inside the scroll city function, which has been, so this whole block here from function to the end keyword it's been run 30 times per second, and then here, the way this if statement, or the way an if statement works in any programming language, is we say if something's true, and there's the something, so this is usually called a condition. Here the condition is that we're checking if the x position of whichever image self happens to be, whether it's city 1, city 2, 3 or 4, whichever one of those it is, and whatever the x position is currently, if that is less, or if it's true that that is less than this position, -477, so way off the left-hand side of the stage, if that's true, and only if it's true, then we're going to run this line here, which resets its x position back to 480, so over on the right-hand side of the screen. Again, this has to be true for this line to run, so it's a bit like a gate, or how we make a decision on the computer. It's saying if this is true, do this, else, so in other words, if this is false, which is most of the time, because most of the time its x position is not less than this number here, then if that's not true, then just keep running this line here. So most of the time, this is the line that's been run over and over and over, which is the one that actually moves it to the left. Okay, but that's enough on the city, the background. So what I'm going to do is just put in a comment here, say that this is the background, come down and then make a new area, and this is going to be the jet. So we're going to have a variable and call it jet, local jet equals display, because we want to display something, dot new image. Okay, and here's where we're going to load in the jet graphics. So just quickly on that, let me just bring up the folder. Sorry, let's get this back to where we were. So side scroller, and in here we've got, eventually we're using this one, jet, which is actually what's like an animated sprite. So for this one we're going to be just using this static image called red jet. And so let's just take a look. Actually, if we have a look, here's the finish one. You'll notice that the back, the jet trail on the jet, there's just a really slight animation there on the jet trail of the colours, the contrail there sort of changing colour. So that's actually 4 images cycling over and over. Just to begin with, we're just going to use one image. So in the folder, there's also this one called red jet. So that's just a static, it doesn't have the animation. So we'll use it just to start with, and then we'll switch it over. Okay, so red jet is the name of the graphic, .png, and let's just see if we're going to get something on the screen. So go back to our project that we're working on, so here, and you can see underneath this carry up, sort of this bar up here, which we'll get rid of soon, is this jet here. So we can't really see it, it's not a good spot for it, so let's change its x and y properties, and so I'll just make a bit more room. Okay, jet.x, let's just try 100, so it'll be 100 pixels in from the left hand side, and jet.y equals, try the same. Okay, so, whoops, I just meant to save that. And here we go, we've got the jet just sitting there, so that's 100 pixels in from the left, that was the x coordinate, and then 100 pixels down from the top. One thing with the y-axis on the computer is that the 0 point on the y-axis, so generally, like when you learn maths, on the number plane, 0 on the y-axis is down the bottom. Just on the computer, just no, and this is not just Corona, it's just in general. 0 is measured from the top, so here, this is y0, y100 is here, and then on an iPhone 3, y320 is down here. So it's reversed. You make a bigger y value, and it will actually push the whatever image you're talking about down on the screen. So you get used to it pretty soon. Okay, so we've got it there, but it's not. It just sits there. It doesn't do anything. So what we're going to do now is actually set up a function so that it responds to the movement. we're going to put on it. So the first thing we actually want to do is apply gravity, and to do that we're going to use the built-in physics engine in Corona. If we're going to use the physics engine, we need to what's called include it or require it. So let's put in another comment. So requires. If you've never seen a comment before, just know that the bit with the 2 dashes won't be read by the phone. It's just a note or a comment for humans to read, so that's what the 2 dashes does. And what we need to do here is say we're going to create a variable just called physics, and then say we'll set it equal to require, so we'll say require physics, and that will allow us to use the built-in physics engine. I think you just have to require it. I think it just keeps down the app size, the eventual app size. Basically, if you don't include it, it won't include it in your app, so it'll just keeps the file size smaller. Here we're just saying physics start, which will just start the physics engine. Okay, so what you can then do is say, well, any graphic we've added, we can then add it to the physics engine. Okay, so to do that, we say physics.add body. So body, I mean, we're just adding a graphic, really. It's going to be jet, that's the name of the variable we created. And then here we need to say whether it's static or dynamic. We'll make it dynamic, which means it'll move around. It'll have gravity applied to it. And then we've got a bit of setup to do here, so I'll just type it out. So we need to say, we'll specify density. I'm just going to set these, and then quickly we'll go through them. A lot of these don't apply to our game here, but to other games, they're very important. Density, like it sounds, is like how heavy is the object. Bounce is, well, how bouncy is it, if it's going to bounce off things. We don't have bouncing in this game. Friction is how much does it stick to things. I mean, most of these are pretty self-explanatory, and again, a lot of them, I mean, they don't really apply to this game. There's lots of info out there. Radius is pretty important for our one. Like, radius is like half the radius, so half the jet size. It's about 24 pixels or so that is an important one when it's going to come to collisions for us. Okay, so we've added the body, so let's just save this and we'll just try it. Okay, so there's something going on because it should be having gravity applied to it and dropping. Okay, so here on line 60, there's something going on. Okay, it doesn't like something on this line here. Let me just see. Okay, and I've put, actually what it was saying, the compile error was actually pretty good. It said, attempt to perform arithmetic on global density. So, okay, what's called density? So we look here, and this one's density, and here it's got a minus, should be a equals. So let's try that. And it's a good sign because we can't see the jet, which means gravity should have been applied and it's just dropped off the screen. So we'll restart it, and there we go. So we got the physics engine up and running on that jet. Okay, so I think we'll leave that video there, and in the next one we'll look at how to apply, like, so when we touch the screen, we're going to apply a force and make the jet actually move upwards.